Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more Heart in the Swarm, Part 4, where we go and kill the only boss ever to exist in this game. We declare success and then we turn around surprised when the swarm doesn't stop. That is how this goes, right? Maybe. But yes, welcome back to Deep Among the Swarm. No upgrade segment to start this one out. All I've done is dump my supply of swarm essence into upgrading my turrets, so 25% more damage, a bit more health, and dump my forge cores into my general forge, but I'm not crafting anything, so nothing else to report there. Investigate and vanquish the ominous presence, as my voice cracks annoyingly for unknown reasons, because it was fine a moment ago. How strange this kind of thing is. Ah well, let us begin, shall we? Okay, we are in a good little bit. We are walled off. We do have some comments from last time, so I'll get set up as I start. We have got one from Lucas. Hello, Lucas. Not heard from you in a while, I don't think. Have a nice day, even though no clue what's going on here. Looks like RimWorld overlay. It does a bit, doesn't it? But this is actually a top-down tile format. So, while top-down was kind of like had a bit of a resurgence with RimWorld, RimWorld didn't create this kind of overlay, honestly. Though I do find the comment kind of interesting in its own right. Let's put that there, bit of power tower there, that's fine. I don't like that where it is, so I'm going to move it forward a little bit. And oh my, we have got many, many things. Many, many things. I hope you don't mind, but I think I'm going to go back and forth to comments this time around, just because of how things are. But yes, thank you for your quick comment there, Lucas. I think I'll go ahead and... This is a good starting wall point, actually. We've got a decent amount of space there, so I will go ahead and go try and get this thing laid in. At least a little bit there, and... Yep, no range spitting, thank you very much. There and there. Yeah, there and there. I'll do it. I'll also get another body factory, because I do need to look around and see what actually is going on. Well, actually, more power is more useful this early. Get more power. So, let's see, we've got... That's a dead end with a launch hole. We've got a couple of juggernauts rolling around. That's okay. We have got not much else going on. Though that said, the map does seem to split pretty darn hard right outside my spawn area. So, that's less than ideal, I say as I start to fumble my controls very, very, very rapidly. But that's because I want to build a lot of storage on this one, actually. Like as much as I can get my grubby little mitts on. And I'll also start to pump upgrades as well. Notice I'm doing this first, rather than waiting. Incoming swarm. That's okay. So, Happy Apher's got a long comment today, spread into numerous parts, which is what I'm going to get to, as I realise this has taken damage at some point. Don't know when. So, first part, I commented that I didn't know why I heard a noise.
Research complete.
There you go, that'll help immensely. I don't know why we're digging holes hole. In case that was a serious statement, lore says the swarm dives underground and has spread to the surface, causing big trouble. Humans built drill ships to kill the swarm, as humans do in these games. Though I wonder, would a planetary-sized swarm really only have a handful of queens? Well, video games don't need realism in that regard. This is an interesting query on the matter. It was a serious one because it's been so long since I actually played the start of this game. I had genuinely forgotten any kind of lore regarding that matter. Oh, hello. We have a problem. we have a bit of a problem. I say as I wall off with containers, because what is that anyway? That's the queen? Really? I didn't even aggro, the queen just came at me. I think this might be a run over right here. Why did the queen come at me? I've not even stepped outside the spawn area. Why is that coming? I feel like the game has done something kind of bad with game control if that's something that just happened. As I spam down as many turrets as I can, as fast as I can, and hopefully that'll help, but well, this is gonna suck quite a lot. Come on. And the queen's wandered away. What was that all about? I don't know what just happened. I do not know at all. Except for the fact that somehow I'm alive, and I fully expected to just get absolutely squashed just there. The queen seems to have... Wait, does the queen just rove around? The queen is wandering way off into the distance there. Are you going to stop? And it stopped. Huh. So, have they changed this? Does this one now actually have the queen appear randomly whenever they feel like it? Maybe. Maybe. If so, that sucks. And I am honestly surprised and... wow. Sorry, you can tell I'm slightly caught out by that. Right. I will, however, take my note and reinforce the hell out of everything. I'm just glad I had the initial storage stockpile starting already, otherwise I would definitely have lost that. But the fact the queen disappeared implies that the queen leads an attack wave, does a certain amount of damage, and then withdraws. So, huh. Let's get another... I feel like another replicator would be a really good idea. So, let's actually get going then with more of the comments, because this one is actually somewhat relevant to what I'm doing now, stamping out my troops.
Incoming.
Last time I had an incoming, the queen turned up. I'm now somewhat nervous. Unit schematics are given names. I think the units are not clones. But remote-controlled drones or robots, I mean, they cost energy, copper, and titanium to build, quote-unquote, not any organic resources. The pop cap is just the amount of units you can control, not feed. True, there's no food mechanic. However, remember, humans are carbon-based, and we have iron as one of our constituent resources. So... we could probably be printed with a handful of raw mineral types. Just, they didn't need combining. I was wondering about the name, but replicator, just to create more soldiers. So it does imply it's duplicating something, rather than making, if it's duplicating a person or if it's duplicating a body, though, who knows. But they do kind of have fleshy coloured faces and arms holding the guns and stuff like that. You know? So... at this point, we're just guessing, really. Anyway, I am somewhat nervous because of the whole queen suddenly turning up fiasco there. Give me... oh no. They have done it that way. Okay, right. So, the queen will periodically attack... queen attacks periodically. I have no walls because of my decision to use titanium-only walls. That is a huge mistake. What can I offer in terms of defenses? 70 health, 103 health, 70, 98, 49. I think my best defense is actually still to build a wall of boxes. But last time I played the game, though, the queen was just like, it held off and didn't really do much. But this time around, the queen is actually very, very nasty. Okay. Combat groups head this way because, well, yeah. I know which direction the queen surges from, at the very least, so I can actually start to make some progress down the other way, ideally. Wait, the queen's stopped there. Oh, now the queen's moving again. Hopefully my wall of improvised barricades will be enough, because I don't have any kind of other source for any of this. I think I need a supply station just because they say it's probably going to get wiped out a few times, but at the same time... Increase the barricades! This has got to be the worst wall I've ever used in this game. But I don't have much options. Here comes the queen. Oh, queen on burrows. Launch the mini bomb at it. Ooh, I'm actually doing some appreciable damage. Queen left early. I think the queen leaves if you do enough damage and you actually have to chase her down. That's the situation that's going on. Okay, right. Now that I actually have an idea what's going on, I am not too happy about it, but I can try to do something about it, at the very least. I say as I prepare to rebuild my barricades. But yeah, the queen seems to leave at about a third health lost or something like that. At least from its actions at the moment. No titanium up here either. I need titanium. Very badly. Okay, we've got that route. Let's get this stuff laid out. I will need a body factory and I will need a supply station of some kind to ensure that this area will not suddenly lose power, but I just don't have a body factory. Actually, no, I can put a body factory down there. That would do it. Yeah. Body factory over there. A supporting scanner as well. And then I can start to layer in some defensive lines. And do a very bad job of it, apparently. Actually, that should be good. So, sorry, the fact they changed the boss mechanics has kind of thrown me a little bit. So, keep on going, it's all fine. This group needs to sit and stay nearby until these things build up a little bit, but right now, you should be okay. Question? Yeah, you've dealt with them fine. So,
your forces are under attack.
Yo, it's all fine, yes. Well, that's why I had troops nearby. Okay, that's fine. I need titanium to actually make this area sustainable, though. Yeah. I'm sorry, that did kind of throw me a bit. So, moving on. Your laser turrets are the new cannon turrets? Yes, they are. I'm just taking advantage because of the sheer rate of fire I've got in them, and then putting admittedly less splash damage than the cannon turrets can field.
Your forces are under attack.
I think I do need to pay attention to that a little bit more. Ooh, titanium. Very badly placed titanium, but titanium nonetheless. Please. Happen to have here as well. Oops, as we move onwards. Unfortunately, splash is definitely needed in boss levels. The endless swarms will flood you easily. There are just that many targets to shoot at. Yeah, you need some way to deal with large groups of enemies. But you also can't ignore hard hitting either. More titanium, but I'm suspicious about which way this particular cavern is now going. Yeah, I'm quite suspicious of which way the cavern's going. Let's hope we built my thing. Really hope you get a lenient map seed. Reset speed of the queen just spawn 2 rooms away from the core, and I haven't found any titanium before aggroing the boss. Need to say lost instantly. I wonder if that might have been either the case of a poor seed, or if we have what just happened here, which is the queen attacks in waves, and then you have to actually beat her away to get proper control of the situation. Because I feel like that might have been what happened to you then. Let's take control of these areas here. I'll put one down that way. I want to control this area to fully fortify these positions. That's okay. But I do need my splash turret, and for that, I do need titanium. That's another drawback, by the way. I think the cannon turret, by base, doesn't really need titanium, doesn't it? Or am I misremembering? I'm not sure. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway. The first time you got to the first boss, though, back when a very nice map seed. That keeps irritating me slightly. Oh, it's my barricade wall that's taking hits. Back in a very nice map seed, the boss was the second room, whole map snaking. Yeah, I've only ever previously. Yeah, there's that cry. There's the boss coming in again. Previously, before the updates, I have never known the boss to appear the way it has in this case. I'm just daisy chaining around this thing. Just get like all the guns ready to control these choke points. And I will also, because this is very important, I'll install a supply station in this back corner here, and that will help to keep this entire area safe, quote unquote. But that said, though, I do need some walls. 5 titanium per wall. Problem is I don't have any medical turrets. Medical turrets are kind of key to keeping the walls operational. Titanium is key to everything.
Incoming.
Now, are you going to go... Yep, that is... The passage does join down there. I was suspecting that.
Your forces are under attack.
Why are you waiting there, though? Oh, you're waiting to spawn a swarm. Okay. And then it's heading straight for my main base. Okay, so it doesn't go that way. I don't want to swap my turrets out while the queen is on the approach, so that's my problem. So, let's get this up. Let's get some... I could have gotten some firepower upgrades before this, but let's get some installed now. I'll also boost... Well, I would if I had the parts. I know, there's going to be a lot of clicking. And also, I keep getting pulled off the conversation. Here comes the queen. Queen is in, I think, fully health. Yep, full health. But Queen burrowed. Oh no, the Queen summoned an army. I see. Those walls are much better at holding them off, though. And yep, then she runs away at about a third health loss. Very good. Okay, understood. I wish I had more titanium though, but I just don't, flat out. But there's nothing I can do about that right now, but at least I've got a solution and I can try to do things. There is no titanium here, but the problem is the queen pauses like right up here, so that might be a bit too close, and I don't want to draw the queen into this area, if I can help it. So, let's go ahead and start installing some splash turrets to help out these 2 zones. Need some medical turret coverage as well.
Your forces are under attack.
Especially over here, because this area keeps getting nibbled on. situation is now stable. I do apologise for all that. But I was somewhat concerned about the whole thing. We seem to be good now, though. As I change some other stuff around, and I'll put a sensor post here so I can actually see what's going on over there, because I do need to know. Right. Earlier on, like previous versions of the game, it really was the case of like, oh well, yeah, the queen pauses around here and then moves forward. It really was a case of like long winding caverns, and the queen was always towards the end of it. I ran the early ones quite a bit, so I know that that's exactly what they were specifically. Group 1 attack there, Group 2 attack to this junction here, and let them do their thing. While I start to strip out these temporary things and install some actual other turrets. I'm going to keep the double thick wall though, because I need to ensure that everything stays operational.
Your forces are under attack. Incoming.
Yeah, one-on-one against a Juggernaut is not the way to go, my guy. Not at all. There we go, that's all working as intended, though. Now, that was only put there to actually grab the core. That is now secured. This area does have its turret line a bit close to this particular approach, but the other one is doing fine. And these two spots should be secure for quite some time. Okay, we're good. Right. I didn't plan to do a whole video on just this particular side, but that's kind of how it's played out. Also, I'm missing some troops. Alright, let's install a couple of cannons in the back here. There we go. Maybe, since the laser's taking over the cannons, I think I'll swap the cannons out when I get a chance for a railgun or a sniper turret. Probably a sniper turret would be a great addition for single target. Oh, here comes Her Majesty again. That's fine though. As I realise I've not got full medical coverage over here. Let's fix that, shall we? There we go, that should about do it. Right. So the Queen is moving along and she stops to spawn waves periodically. And yeah, she just pulls around that corner. Okay. So I just need to work my way forward and get to her base section is how I'm reading all this. Also need to spawn 3 more troops. There we go. Interesting. Okay, so the Queen didn't actually retreat at 3rd. I think she retreats after a certain time period as well, because she stuck around after her health dropped a bit further and then she left. So I'm not quite sure what her withdrawal mechanic is. Only that she is doing skirmishing tactics, hit and run. Maybe that's a power test, like if you are not powerful enough to deal with the Queen flat out, then she will check you. And if you are proven to be unworthy, then she will smite you. Maybe that's the whole goal of that thing. Continuing on the comment. Once you've got defensive turret set up, the first boss is pretty easy, yes. Endless swarms are an issue, but if you wall off the things around here, I've always found this kind of a layout. A block away so the enemy can't just immediately nibble on it. Some medical, some splash. Keeps these holes nicely sorted out, honestly. Move you guys forward. But honestly, I'd just go into the bigger rooms and I'd just build the entire thing up, like walls, turrets, and then I'd move into the area where the boss was, because I'd be using the radar towers to scout ahead. That'd be my tactic for this area. As my guys stand here casually gunning everything. You are group 1. And you are group 2. Okay, that's both groups back up to strength. Notice 2 juggernauts there, and they did try to get at my guys, just a bit. I'm honestly thinking, just like, let's just charge my guys in. This has turned into a single stream of consciousness kind of thing now. So let's push through the queen, through the lair. My soldiers will fall when the queen spawns in, but I will be cleaning out all this nonsense that's in the way. And being able to start to fortify and deal with the entire situation in general, because this is a lot of firepower I'm currently laying down due to my upgraded troop stats. So let them be, let them be. Let's see. Splash dose. Apparently having splash dose because of like 50 bucks per shot. Yeah, the swarms do get that dense sometimes. Also found half-forgotten drone feature. I honestly do half forget about the drone feature sometimes too. I do admit that. Just pulling my little squad out of the way, let the queen do her thing.
Your forces are under attack.
I forgot to finish the wall up here, apparently, so I'll do so. A couple more medical turrets. Add in the actual wall part of the wall. There we go. But this base area should be adequate to deal with Her Majesty, though, fairly easily. Or at least fend her off. There's a difference, though. Fending her off, she leaves before she's forced to.
Incoming.
Okay, the queen's gone. Push through. Oh yeah. Basic rifles, but they have the power to melt a lot of stuff. Ooh, what's that? Queen Hive. 114 knowledge. That's not too bad, actually. Let's see. Tower, 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 tower. Tower? Probably being a bit cheeky doing this, but actually that would be a good spot down there, wouldn't it? Also a good spot would be down here for a little outpost. There we go. Yep, there goes the queen. She doesn't actually cause that much trouble on the way. Half health though, my defensive line is doing some work. Though I don't think she's at the point where my troops can actually deal with her flat out. Is she... I think she's stuck on the tower. Yeah, built a tower where she's actually stuck. Oh, that... I was not expecting that. Okay. Interesting. I seem to have found a slight problem with the queen, as she is at the moment. When she's withdrawing, she can get stuck on buildings in a way, so you can actually trap her if you get stuff built. Okay, right, sure. Let's get some extra storage done, and honestly, this map is kind of in the bag at this point because I have the power to deal with her. But let's get the upgrades and things laid in just in case. There we go, maxing it out. That's really strange, though. The fact that when she's withdrawing, she's actually ordered to move and specifically not to attack, and then she's got stuck due to pathfinding. Oh, the poor queen. She's about to be freed, though, so yeah. She's about to get to move on her way. There she goes.
Your forces are under attack.
I don't mind. That's why I've got a supply station down this way.
Research complete.
So then. That was interesting. The drone feature, I often forget about it. Yeah, if you upgrade it, it's powerful. It can heal, it can damage, it can be fast firing, it can do a bunch of stuff.
Complete.
But often I just forget to dig into it just because I focus on getting the infantry and then the buildings up and going. Especially resource harvesting, stuff like that.
Complete.
So I never quite manage to deal with... Well, I never quite get there because then the upgrade path changes to being like trying to deal with, you know, all of the extra bits. Like I get to the point where I need to upgrade everything then. So you can never quite finish it. I'm going to turn this into a little forward outpost flat out. Reinforce with some more laser turrets. There we go, lots of laser turrets. And then I'm actually going to build a couple of replicators down here. So this place is going to be a little fortress outpost. It shouldn't attract the queen because she'll wander past up there. But it'll keep this hole plugged and it'll give me a close point to resupply my soldiers, which is just me being a bit cheeky, honestly. Like that, you see, I just lost a couple of soldiers because they were a bit too close to the entry point. That's okay though. And yeah, there's a queen hive there. I'm guessing she can go to any queen hive that exists to restore herself. Anyway. Last played the boss mission many months ago, so things that have changed since then. They have definitely changed. I've not last played years ago. My experience is probably still mostly valid. It does seem to be very so. So yes, sorry. It took me so long to get through that Happy Aether, but it was kind of like trying to focus through all this. What's the problem with me being here, actually, is the fact that I am... There's the queen. Was that the last queen hive? Dunno. She's now angry. She's now wandering off to the turret wall, which is fully capable of killing her. Good job, Your Majesty. I'm sure you'll be just fine as I quickly rebuild my troops. Very close by. Behind where you've already left. Have fun, Your Majesty. Enjoy your visit to my base. Was that the last queen hive? It might have been. I don't know what's happening with this episode, honestly. I will, however, let's go ahead and boost the turrets and things one more round while she's on her way. They probably won't finish before she's there because she's almost there as is. But she's already kind of hurt. The troops actually did a fair bit of damage. They just didn't have the durability to try and withstand her. Here go the turrets flat out. That wall is going to drop, but that's why there's a second layer behind it. Yep, I think we got it. And there we go. Source of everything is now fixed and gone.
Incoming. Research complete.
Right. So there we go. There is a bit more of the comments to go, but give me a sec. I think the cold weather is affecting me a bit. Anyway, last part of your comment is about proto-life, as I wander into this area and find very little worth noting. Proto-life, other side is more like a puzzle. Yeah, and that's the problem. Yes, it's kind of the problem. The base game is proper tower-based RTS game. Really like the gameplay loop. Once you play the faction, Endless Swarm, also have towers and just units as well. But it made sense and be easy to give players control over that faction. Yeah, it would have been, except for the well, actually the issue would have been AI for the tower side, because part of the tower side in Protolife I've noticed is, because of production limits, either the AI would only build things, and so they would be slowly building forward and not really trying to focus towers or stuff like that, but also even very early on, as I was playing, I realised it was faster to actually pick up and reuse tower resources to expand my influence that way. And, for example, move crystals forward, things like that, where I want to have the towers, and then when I want to move it, I just move the crystal around. The AI would have to be programmed to do that as well, so the AI being in control of just the tower side of it would not be the easiest thing to really code into, I don't think, because that would be a certain degree of adaptive programming. I probably would need, I think, honestly. Sorry, return to the comment. Those we find a death nest. I have become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. Thanking you.
Incoming.
Not a lot to be seen here. There's only like one core over there. There's actually a big core though. I think we'll try and get it. Continue. The comment goes, but no, the devs decided to make a completely different game type. There's some RTS mechanics, but it takes away all the fun parts from the base game. When you complained about it to the devs of the game, they just came out and said they even agree on that point. Oh dear. Sounds like the devs kind of pushed through with the game even when they realised it was going to be taking away something that was very important to the identity of the first game. So, sunken costs, I would imagine, played a role in that one. Yep. Lasers doing a great job as my new cannon turrets. Oh well, let's go ahead and push outwards. I do need to fortify these a little bit so that I don't lose them immediately. But hey, I've got titanic reserves of materials, so I don't even mind too much. At this point, it's not like the Queen's going to wander back in and demolish this line of towers at this point. I think I've got that problem somewhat dealt with, honestly. Okay, sorry, back to the comment. Not just the game since, but the reviews look like quite mixed as well. So it seems like, yeah, it is a common thought on the matter. That's actually, to be entirely honest with you, that's why I didn't actually pick up the other game either. I looked at it, it was cheap and available, but I didn't pick it up. Specifically because I thought, you know what, it seems like they might have done something and there was all the mixed reviews, so maybe they didn't quite get the mix right on the second one, and that seems to be the general result as well, as I get the last few bits in. Oh, and a warning here, which I have actually followed through on. When you play Protolife, focus on the campaign until you beat it once. The other mode lets you unlock and build your own towers to use in a gauntlet of random generated levels. Also spoil you which normal towers you have access to. And getting new towers to play around with is half the fun of the campaign.
Incoming.
I noticed that, yeah. Honestly, I hadn't found the other mode as I get settled in for the extraction time. Large wave, that's fine. I wish to start my engine.
Are under attack.
There we go. Because there's nothing else left for me to collect here. We are done with this level. But yeah, it's like I noticed that as I progressed, I was unlocking extra bits, extra towers, and so if there was a free roaming random level available, because I didn't actually spot it last time I was playing, must admit. I can see how that would totally break like any kind of surprise about what would be coming along. I think I don't need these at all. So yeah, there we go. I'm sorry for this only being like one part, this particular episode, one mission, but well, the Queen did kind of throw me for a loop with her hit and run tactics, which I hadn't seen before. Even this temporary thing is holding now.
Your forces are under attack.
Shows like they did a good job with getting my turrets upgraded for this point, that they held up that well. But we've still got that difficulty spike I mentioned that's about to hit us next.
forces are under attack.
Yep, they're holding. I'm losing a few bits here because they were so close to the lair. I knew I would. That's honestly why I wasn't thrilled about where this particular titanium deposit was, but it was also the one I got access to easily, so, you know, these must. Requiring titanium for a barricade, though, that's something I'm going to have to fix, though, I think, because it did kind of hold me back a bit here until I threw barricades in the way out of storage boxes, but following this point, exploration with my soldiers is going to get harder. Even the next level is probably going to be significantly harder, so I need access to a copper-based barricade. More importantly than having actually upgraded titanium barricades, I think, I can just double layer copper ones if I want some more durability, so I'm going to do that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking through this and have the extraction be going on in the background as well, but this episode has thrown me quite a few ways. Ah yes, beware the power of my mini-bombs. I'm going to be honest, mini-bombs have suffered, not just in my upgrade plans, every run I've done previously in this game, but also in my above-ground research. Most of the upgrades I've got into my mini-bombs are because, well, they were cheap. So, you know. But this level just made me 1,400 research as well, so that's pretty good, honestly. Let's continue. So, this mission has purely been taking down the Queen, who was being very aggressive. Victory, your forces managed to slay the Storm Queen. Inside the Queen's corpse, there is a giant crystal. Somehow the Queen was using this crystal's energy to disrupt your drill's core. Studying the radiant crystal, you realized not only is the crystal feeding essence into the Queen and the Swarm, but it's an even more powerful version of the crystal that powers your drill core and facilities. Engineers have made modifications to integrate the crystal into your drill. You are now able to drill through the ice and manufacture more powerful equipment for the journey ahead. New equipment you can craft will be Tier 2. So everything is now upgraded. Jolly good. We are now in the ice biome as well. There we go. Fire up the drill. As we roll back slightly in the comment. So this was something quite early on in the comment and episode-wise as well. Happy was wondering, Planet-Side Swarm really only have a handful of queens. Video games don't need realism in that regard. Well, I think there is actually a real-life analog to this, which is actually the ants and the super colonies is probably the closest thing. Each individual super colony is under control of like a queen, and then there's other queens in the area, but it's like they're all the same kind of ants, but then they're actually fighting against other ants from elsewhere for domination. So it's like the species kind of cooperate loosely, but other species of ants are fought because they are not from the same genus, I guess. They're not the same kind of ants. But one of the theories is that in general, ants technically kind of rule the world. It's just that they're so small that we think we rule it, but ants actually have us so massively outnumbered, it's not even funny. But that said, though, a larger swarm unifying in control, it's like we are poking into a single hive here, and that's kind of coordinating it, though we don't know if that's worldwide. There does seem to be like a general thing, so this might be a case of like if in real worlds the existing ant colonies, the super colony states was like worldwide instead of having multiple competing. What happened then when the ants were no longer skirmishing among themselves for dominance and became unified? Who knows? They don't have high energy crystals though, or the ability to really take us out, except with massive swarms, which is actually a real risk, especially for some ant types, but you know, not going to turn that one. But that's kind of a bit I wanted to add on to that. There is some equivalence with real world things. Anyway, nearby caves, what do I want to explore? Death swarms and numerous death nests, but there are some extra forge cores, there's some extra wrecks. My turrets and units are more accurate, I don't care about that. Barricades are stronger, don't super care about that one. Narrow tunnels, great for choke points. Slow units. Accuracy decreased, don't care. Spread increased. That is a really big one, but against the numbers we're starting to get, laser turrets won't really matter too much. The troops might struggle a bit. A lot of hives and a lot of artifacts. Enemies are more healthy. My turrets are less accurate. Extra Rex. Extra damage and extra spawners. I think these tunnels are my one there. So let's stop here. We are at 1,128. And let's see what we're dealing with in terms of all this. So we are where we're going to be. I'll spend my things to upgrade. And then let us fabricate a new primary. Laser turret level 2 versus laser turret level 1. More than double the damage. Sorry, more than double the health. 60% more damage. Increase the fire rate, increase the magazine. Slightly larger spread. But, yeah, that's already kind of beefy looking. I'll craft you. But that's kind of an example of what kind of thing we're going on. We need to pay attention to the soldiers as well. They'll craft a primary. It's all common stuff. But if we compare, even the common rifle, it's got a smaller magazine, slightly slower reload, slightly larger spread, higher rate of fire, and a significant damage bump compared to my level 1. So even a common can, in some ways, outperform the legendaries from earlier on. So this is kind of what I mean, like, we have to save the materials to actually get some upgrades in place. But we are going to do that next time. This episode has overrun massively. It is probably going to be one of the longer episodes in this entire series, actually. But we'll end it there, yes. This has been IMR3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sorry if my voice is a little bit off for this one, but it's like, as I said, cold weather seems to be affecting me a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm not ill, but my nose is getting a bit blocked up from the temperature change. I don't know. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out me, helps the channel, give me those virtual head pats I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yeah. I've already said everything I wanted to add, so I think that's it, yeah. See you all later.